Hello guys, I hope you're all doing well out there. You're most welcome to this channel, and today we are going to look at health issues. Just the way I'm dressed shows that we're going to look at health matters and how are we going to obtain a long, healthy, sweet life. We're going to look at some few points that can help us to have this, because I know outside there no one wants to die young, no one wants to have a life that is not healthy. Everyone deserves it, of course. But how are we going to make this? Let's look at point number one, and that is nutrition. Nutrition is the process of providing and obtaining food that is necessary for our growth and health. So, how, when, what are we supposed to eat? We're going to look at what we're supposed to eat to be healthy and to live a longer life. We have basically two diets, that is the animal-based diet and the plant-based diet. For people who are living longer, most of the times you see that it's the people who are eating more of the plant-based diet, because with animals, we say that these days actually animals are being injected with several chemicals that are so harmful to the human body and the human health. So if you really want to have a long, healthy life, plant-based diet would be your way to go. Plant-based diet basically provides us with a lot of nutrients. We have the carbohydrates, which can't be so much in the animals. Proteins, of course, proteins also are in the animals. Actually, most animals have proteins, but the problem with the animal protein is there's a lot of cholesterol. Then we have the vitamins. They're in the plants, mostly fruits and veggies. We have the minerals. We have the calcium. Calcium is found mostly in the plant-based diet. The walnuts, I think, have calcium, yeah, and so on. So that's what we can get in the plant-based diet mostly. Animal-based diet, yes, there are things we can obtain from it, but then it's not something that I would advise us to go with so much, because there are a lot of diseases that go hand in hand with animal things or animal products. So let's look at when are we supposed to eat and how are we supposed to eat in that time. Most of us always try to skip breakfast. We think breakfast is not necessary in our bodies, but we forget that, maybe we don't know that breakfast is the most important food, or is the most important time for us to have food. If you've been having that habit of skipping breakfast, it's time you stopped it, because it's so harmful. Our bodies, just like the vehicles, are supposed to be fueled for the day's work. So if you keep skipping your breakfast, it means that you're not helping your body at all. We should always get our bodies ready for the day's work, and this is by eating a heavy breakfast. Breakfast should be the heaviest meal that we should have, and lunch should be less than the breakfast we had. Then supper should always be very less, or we shouldn't have supper at all, for those who can handle that. For those who can't go without supper, yes, eat very less. Don't eat a lot when it comes to supper, because during supper time we're going to rest, our bodies are going to sleep, so there's no need for you to eat a lot of food. But in the African setting, it's so sad that we eat a lot of food during night. During daytime we will starve ourselves, and then at night we pack ourselves with food, which is not good. So let's stop that habit and eat more food during breakfast. There are those who have the habit of drinking while eating. This is also harmful to us. We shouldn't drink while eating. When we are drinking, it should be drinking, and when we're eating, it should be eating. Drink at least before eating your food, or drink your water after eating, maybe 1 hour after your food. How long should we take before we eat food? Our food takes 5 hours to be digested, so Once you eat food, count 5 hours at least, because you can count more than that. You can count 6, 7 before you get any other meal, but always at least count 5 hours before you get any other food. For those of us who are good at snacking, snacking is not good for us. And so if you have that habit of snacking, stop it, because it's taking you nowhere to living long. Point number 2, if you have any questions about nutrition, you can send in your questions, I'll read them and reply. But let's go to point number 2, that is exercise. Exercise is any physical activity. Yeah, it's any physical activity we do that requires energy, and this improves on our health. And exercise, what's the best time to do exercise? That is either morning or evening. You shouldn't do exercises in the middle of the day when the sun is already out and it's so hot. No, it's not good for you. Do it either in the morning or in the evening. Take 30 minutes if you're just a learner, you're just starting, you're a beginner. Don't take a lot of time. You shouldn't strain a lot when you're doing exercises. That's the best for us. Then, if you're used to it, you can take, a, a, I think, even 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Even if you're used to exercise, it shouldn't take too long. Too much of anything is not good. But exercises are so good for our bodies. They help to regulate our blood flow. They help us in the breathing. When you exercise, you breathe in deeply, breathe out, and it's so good for that. Our third point is water. Water. They tell us that 60% of our body is water, made up of water. And water is so good for us because it helps us in many things. For example, water helps us to flush out the waste in our bodies. It helps to regulate our body temperature. Water helps us in digestion. Water helps in losing weight. Actually, if you're fighting with a lot of weight in your body, maybe you can take a lot of water and this will help you. Water helps us to heal illness. There are some illnesses that can be taken away just with taking water. For example, when you're having a lot of flu and colds, taking water is so good for you. Water will help in fighting. Water gives us a good mood. If you're this person that gets moody all the time, take water and you'll be well. Water also helps us to get bright skins, just like mine. Yeah, it helps us to get bright skins, and it also helps to protect the tissues in our bodies. We have the knees, we have the brain, we have the what? The spinal cord. They all need to be protected, and water helps in this. So take water always. We shouldn't only take water when we are thirsty. And actually, men are supposed to take 2.5 to 3 liters a day, and for women, you should take 2 to 2.5 liters a day. How are we supposed to take water? In the morning, when you wake up, try to take 2 glasses of water before eating, before doing anything. Then, after your breakfast, take another glass of water. Take a glass of water before you eat your lunch, and after your lunch, take another glass of water. Take a glass of water in between your lunch and your dinner, and then before taking your dinner, make sure you take another glass of water. Then, when it comes to night, you should take your water 2 hours before sleeping. Why? Because once you take water when you're just going to bed, it will disturb your sleep pattern, because you'll need to wake up and urinate all the time, and your sleep pattern will be disturbed. So take water 2 hours before you go to bed. Let's go to our fourth point, that is sunshine. Being exposed to sunshine is something healthy, because sunshine activates some of the hormones, some of the vitamins in our bodies, and these are so good to us. They help us to live a longer life. How long should we be exposed to sunshine? This depends on the sensitivity of your skin. If your skin is too sensitive, you shouldn't stay under sunshine for long because it can cause you a lot of trouble more than good. Then, mostly, if your skin is not so sensitive, you can take 10 to 30 minutes under sunshine, and this should not be the hot, burning sun. It should be that sweet sun. I don't know if you understand that, but yeah, there's that sun that you feel is sweet to the body, not the burning one. Mm, when you look at sunshine, sunshine triggers the brain to release the serotonin, and serotonin is the happy mood hormone. It gives us a happy mood. So if you have a problem with getting moody all the time, try sitting under sunshine and the serotonin will be activated and you'll be good to go. Then it activates the vitamin D, and once vitamin D is activated, we see that we can be able to have strong bones because vitamin D helps the body to absorb calcium, and calcium helps in giving us strong bones. And this helps us to prevent diseases like osteoporosis and arthritis. Then it helps us to get good sleep during night. And then we shouldn't sit under sunshine for long because it can cause sun rashes on your skin, and it can also cause melanoma, which is skin cancer. Sorry. Sorry. The next point we look at is temperance. Temperance means being moderate or moderation. We should be moderate in all that we do, whether it's our diet, whether it's taking water, whether it's whatever we do, we should be moderate. Don't take in a lot and don't do less. If it's exercises, don't do a lot of exercises and don't do less. And if we are moderate or we are temperate, we will achieve better goals. So let's be moderate in all that we do. Then our next point is air. We should take in air because without air, actually, we can't be there. There's oxygen in the air, there's nitrogen, there's carbon dioxide. We hear of carbon monoxide. There's a lot of air, but we majorly know oxygen and carbon dioxide, of course. So, air helps in giving us energy because oxygen can be turned into energy, and this energy is so good for us. And also, our brain needs 20% of the total body air, of the total oxygen that we get in our bodies. So 20% is taken by the brain. So without the oxygen, it means that our brain are not going to function well. So we need air. Our immune system need the oxygen to be able to work well, to fight the diseases, to fight the germs, to fight all that which causes diseases in us. And then in treating pulmonary diseases, actually, oxygen is needed. Now, like the COVID-19 which came, we've been seeing that most people have been needing oxygen, and oxygen is part of air. So we really need air. And for us who live in the cities, it's so hard to get fresh air all the time because there are so many factories that are surrounding us. The cities have grown and factories are there, manufacturing industries. So we need some time and go to the villages, go to the mountains, go to the forests, maybe on the weekends, and breathe in some good air out there because there's so many things that pollute the air. We end up not getting good air. And for those of us who are in good places that there are no thieves, we can always let our windows open because once our windows are open, it gives allowance to air getting in our house, and we end up getting more fresh air than those who stay with the windows closed. Then, if yeah, we should avoid cooking within the house for mostly for those who use charcoal stoves, the paraffin stoves. We should avoid cooking inside our houses, mostly when we have these single or double rooms. It's not good to cook in the house If you don't have a kitchen, then avoid. Just cook outside and bring your food inside, because cooking inside the house is also another factor that pollutes the air. Then we shall look at the next point, which is rest. Rest helps us to stay alert. Actually, rest and sleep, I think they're a bit different, but they're a bit different. But sleeping is part of resting. Yeah, yet you can rest even without sleeping. But resting helps us to keep alert during daytime. Sleeping during the night also helps us to keep alert during daytime. It boosts our memory in that we can remember that which we had forgotten. It helps us to fight infections in our bodies that can enable us not to get sick. And then there are hours of the night that our bodies recreate themselves, in that the dead cells are taken away and new cells are created in our bodies. So sleep is something that we should love so much during the night. Actually, there are those hours that are good for that, and that is before midnight. So we should always learn to sleep before midnight. Resting or sleeping for adults, 6 to 8 hours are good for us to rest, and then for the children, 10 to 12 hours are good. And for the very young children, I don't know, you can research about it, or we shall talk about it any other time. Then the last point that can help us to live a long, health, and sweet life is trust in God. Once we put our trust in God, it means that we do away with the stresses of life. We do away with things that disturb us, that can cause us to live a shorter life. And once we have our trust in God and we know that it's God who gives us the life and who can give us all that we need, it means that our lives are going to be longer. Actually, research of recent showed that people who always attend church or who have the trust in God always, there are a few number of them who are caught by diseases like cancer. They're not affected so much with cancer and other deadly diseases. So trusting God is something sweet, because all in all, if we do all this but we have no trust in God, we don't believe that God can help us in everything, then it means that we are living for no God. Those have been our points, 8 of them: nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine. The next was what? Anyway, temperance, air, rest, trust in God. Then the other day, I don't know. Yeah, but we've talked about all this, and I hope you've gotten something good out of it. That is trust in God, the last one. Thank you so much for your time, and if you like the video, just like and subscribe for more videos to come. God bless you all.